What's going on, guys? This is Alex here with 814EDC, and I am ready to bring some reviews to you. I apologize. I wasn't active at all last week. I didn't post any uploads or anything like that. I was just super busy with work, and I had some other stuff going on that I really had no motivation to film anything, so I apologize for that. It's really the first time that I've felt that way since starting the channel, and it happens, life happens, so I'm ready to get back into it. I'm going to film some videos today, and I found that what works best for me with my schedule, because I work from 7 to 3:30 every day basically, and some days I get home and I'm trying to do other work outside of my main job just to get some extra money and income in, because I may or may not have a knife addiction that I like to fund. And around doing that and hanging out with my girlfriend and seeing my friends and stuff like that, I'm just very, very busy throughout the week. So what I found works best so far, I will probably film 3 or 4 videos on either Sunday or Monday, and then have them uploaded and ready to go throughout the week on the days that I'm choosing to post on. So you guys probably are going to see me in the same outfit for the rest of this week, unless I get a loaner box, because I'll obviously do a video of unboxing that. But it's just what I found best that works with my schedule. So I should probably start doing them on Sunday, because I look kind of crusty right now. I just got home from work and I mowed grass all day and my allergies are all messed up. So Sunday I could at least look more presentable, but it is what it is. You guys don't give a shit about what I look like. You just care about what the knives and what I have to say about them. So without further ado, the knife that I have to show you guys today, I just lost my train of thought, is the McNees Mac 2. Now this and the Olamic, which I'm going to film right after this video, which you guys will see the next day, they're both on loan from my new friend Brian over at dimestackeredc. I will leave a link to his Instagram down in my description below. Go check him out. He's a really cool knife collection. He has a lot of interesting knives, and he was awesome enough to allow me to check this and the Olamic out, and otherwise I wouldn't had any opportunity to. So I'm just really happy that he was nice enough to send them over to me, and I've really enjoyed having them. But this is a review on the McNees, so we're just going to stick to the McNees. And like I said, this is the Mac 2. And this is a knife that has been on my grail list for a little while. Everyone, I feel like if you're into knives, you either have a mental list or a physical list. I keep a physical list on my phone, on my notes, of knives that I want and I want to buy. And I have a grail section, and this is one of the knives that is on the grail section. I've just always really, really liked the overall design of it, and I thought that the price point is expensive, especially for me right now, being a college student and everything like that. But I feel like it's not horrible when compared to other knives, and I really like the design of it and like the overall aesthetic of it. So I'm really glad that I'm getting to check one out and review one. And it has just kind of cemented its place in my grail list, because I'll get to that later with my final closing and stuff like that. So jumping right into material, this has a CPM 20CV blade. If my camera will focus, there we go. It is made in the USA. Just has a real nice drop point blade with a nice handsome looking swedge there. I think I said this was a convex or a hollow grind in my unboxing of it, and I was wrong. It is a full flat grind, not a full flat grind, a flat grind up to the swedge. It is a stonewash blade, which looks really nice. I think it compares nicely with the plain tie. And the blade, it's a decently thick back here on the stock, and then it kind of narrows out once that swedge gets going. But for the size of the knife, it's decently thick. And behind the edge, it's not like ridiculously thin, but it's kind of in the middle somewhere. It has a really nice edge on it, but thickness behind the edge, I feel like, from my experience, it's probably one of maybe the thicker knives that I've felt. Just from my fingertips and what they're telling me, but the sharpness is real. I've nicked myself, I think, twice with this so far while fidgeting with it. It does have dual thumb studs. It is a frame lock. It has a one-way, not deep carry at all pocket clip. And then it has some texturing right here on the end for the frame lock, and then right here as well on the pivot. It's almost like an orange peel sort of texture. And then you do have the plain titanium scales and then a lanyard hole right here. There's no liners, obviously, because it is a frame lock. And there's the one side, the show side, has 8 holes skeletonized out for a little bit of weight reduction, and that does help a lot. Because this knife, for the size and how small it is, I feel like it has a good weight to it. So I think if if it was just a complete, not touched slab of titanium, it might be a little bit heavier, but I think it has a good weight to it. So, and then just some standoffs back here. Excuse me. Need some H2O. So next we're going to go over action, and action was one of the shining stars for me on this knife. It is thumb stud, so you either have to thumb flick it or middle finger flick, and they both work really well. So here's a thumb flick. Flies right out of there. Here's the middle finger flick. They're just really satisfying, and I think that another thing that I like about this knife is the sounds, and that kind of ties into the action. I just think it really gives off a very satisfying and tactile sound when you open it and when you close it. So there's when you open it and when you close it. I've never, experienced that, because I don't think I've ever had a full titanium knife before in hand. This might be my first one off the top of my head, and that obviously goes into it, but it's just really satisfying. Just rockets out of there. Very satisfying, the middle finger flick. I know Kevin, Lefty EDC, he had this before me, and I think he even said that, I was talking to him about it, and he hated it, and he even said from a righty standpoint, it wouldn't be hard to middle finger flick and everything like that, but I really, really enjoy it. As long as you're not, pressed down in this lock bar, you're good. It comes right out every time. Just very, very nice. And then for closing action, it's very drop shotty. This is where I've nicked myself a few times, where I've closed the blade and I have been down farther and the blade just swings down and hits my cuticle. I tend to cut my cuticles a lot on my right thumb, just because of closing and stuff like that. So I'm not going to try to I'm not going to show you guys how much it could be of a drop shutter, but as you can see, it's very smooth. Drops to my nail. Shake once it's closed. Just really, really fun to play with, from the action, from the sounds. Just a really cool knife overall from the action standpoint. Next, we're going to go over Ergos, and this is also kind of another, it didn't stand out as much to me as the action and the sounds, but still a really good category for me personally. Now, if you guys saw my unboxing of this, you would see how surprised I was that it was this small. And I stated that it was it kind of reminded me of my, I almost said Benchmade Bug Out, my Wee Banner. Kind of in the same, space of size. And I love how my Banner fits in my hand, and this fits maybe a little bit better, because it's a little bit longer, but I can get all 4 fingers on there very, very comfortably. There is some jimping up top here. No jimping down below, and it's a relatively neutral shape. You have a little bit of an indent here, and it kind of slips off to the end back here, and it gets a fatter rear end, but it's very comfortable for my hands. In my preferred saber grip, hammer grip, reverse, maybe not the best for this, but you have a nice landing pad up here you can put your thumb on. Reverse draw cut. Just very comfortable. It's all rounded off very nicely. There's no really, sharp edges from the titanium. Just very comfortable. And obviously, I did not carry or use this knife or the Wayfarer. Well, I did carry them around my house when I wasn't doing anything, just to see how they fit in the pocket and stuff like that. But the only thing I cut with it was some paper. But you could just, I mean, you get really good control of this blade. And it's a pretty small blade. It's very, not very long, kind of stocky. And you can just get really good control. And if you're going to use this knife as a user, I feel like you can get really good, precise cuts of whatever you're cutting. So Ergos, very, very good. And then my last viewpoint or category is how it carried. And I'll be straight up with you, I did not like this pot clip. I would much prefer, as you guys know, a loop over style deep carry clip. Now, I've grown to be accepting of like milled titanium pot clips on knives just because of how they look on the knife and from an Ergo standpoint. Because I guess I didn't mention that in my Ergos. The pot clip is very, flush to the scale, so that's not much of a hot spot. But I don't like how much of the knife sticks out of my pocket when I'm carrying it. I would much prefer a loop over style deep carry clip. I don't think the clip looks bad on the knife. It looks quite well, I think. But I just don't like how much it sticks out. I would carry this. I think it carried it once or twice around the house for a day or so. And I think I put it in my fifth pocket, like my coin pocket, and it carried really, really well up there. So if I were to get one in the future, that's probably the main place of where I would carry this, because I could see a lot of people viewing this as a secondary. Me personally, I think it would be a primary, because I don't carry two knives, and whatever blade I'm carrying for the day would be enough to get the job done. So, but yeah, carry. It's kind of a thicker knife for how small it is, and there's a decent amount of weight there, so it's not the lightest knife that I've ever felt. And I think it would have helped if it had a deep carry clip. Just being blunt about it, I don't like this clip. From a viewpoint of like aesthetics, it looks pretty good, but I do not like the clip. I wish I had a deep carry clip. So carry could be a lot better. Now that brings me to my final thing that I always like to talk about, and that is price point. And price point on these is, I believe they're like $467, and that's always stuck out to me as kind of a weird number, because they don't just round it up to $470. They don't even go to like $465. It's $467, and I really don't understand. Like, you don't see too many knives that are just kind of random numbers like that. They're always at like more, I don't want to say even numbers, but like, I don't know. It's just something that always stuck out to me, is it being kind of weird that it was a $467 price point, not $465 or $470, $467. And I do think it's worth that. I mean, you're getting a USA made knife, USA made and designed knife. You're getting USA materials. You're getting pretty good premium materials with a 20 CV blade, nice titanium, a titanium clip. Would be better if it was deep loop over style deep carry, but it's just me. You're getting a ridiculously good action on open and close from thumb studs. And, it's just a cool knife. This is the only McNees that I'm, super familiar with. I want to say I heard somewhere that this is like their only like sort of production knife, or like their mid-tech, you could call it. I don't know if they specialize in only customs and like this is their most production friendly knife. I'm very, sort of new to McNees, so I could be completely wrong on that, but that's what I think I've heard. But again, I might be wrong. And I think it's worth $470. We'll say 70 with some tax. I don't personally see myself buying it right now, but like I said, it is on my grail list, and I'm glad I got to experience it because it kind of cemented it as being on my grail list. And I'm not, like once I send this back to Brian, I'm not going to be like really upset and feel like I have to go buy one right away. And I'm not going to be like sad that it's not in my possession anymore, but I'm going to be like, if I can afford it in the future, that's something that I would definitely like to get my hands on. If I don't get it, it is what it is, but it's definitely something that I would like to get and hopefully do in the future once I have like, a big person job, as I like to call it, and I'm more able to spend money on stuff like that rather than, because right now I'm kind of living in like the $200 price range for knives. I have like my pair of 3, which I need to do my review on. You guys haven't seen that yet. That's like right at $200. My Urban EDC Supply F5.5, it's like $200. My Neutron is in that price range, so I haven't really gone much over that yet. I plan on it this summer because there's some knives coming out that I'm assuming that are going to be above that. But right now I'm kind of comfortable playing in that 150 to 250 range. I still think there's a lot of knives in that area that can appease to me and appeal to me and everything like that. But if you're able and wanting to spend about $500 on a knife, I would definitely give a hard look at the McNees Mac 2 because it's an awesome knife. It's really, really good. I do like it better than the Olamic Wayfarer. And that's not to knock the Wayfarer. I just like the sort of the plainness and the simpleness of this design. I say that as I get jammed up on the lock bar, but just a great knife, guys. I don't really know exactly where you can buy these at, so I'm not going to leave a link to any websites, but if you just Google, I'm sure you can find some different places to purchase them at. So that's really all I have to say about the McNees Mac 2. Again, Brian, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for allowing me to check this and the Olamic out. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm glad I've had these in my possession for the past couple weeks. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer for me to do my reviews, but if you are watching this, they will get put in the mail back out to you this week. Drop a comment down below, guys, if you have a McNees, if you want a McNees, what your opinion is on them and on these knives. Like I said, I love talking to you guys. I love commenting back to you guys, and it's awesome. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.